Why? So at first I was thinking $125 to feed all of us, me, my partner, and our 2 kids. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. But then I realized that was actually less than the USDA's, their lowest cost food plan, their Thrifty plan. So for those who don't know, they offer food plans. They're supposed to be nutritious plans depending on your budget. They have the Thrifty, low cost, moderate, and liberal. And it looks like they put up a new one every month or so. So according to the most recent one for the low cost plan, again, that's the second to last for a family of 4, just like ours. They actually have it down there. $173.80 per week or $753.20 per month. And then for the cheapest one, the Thrifty one, $135 or $588 per month. So like I said, the cheapest one, the Thrifty, was actually more than the $125. So I decided to aim for kind of somewhere in between those 2 plans and to go for $150 or no more than $150 for the week. So I went to Kroger on Easter Sunday, an hour before they closed, thinking, it's Easter. No one's gonna be here. It'll be empty. This is the perfect time to go shop. It was so crowded. I was so rushed. I got out of there with 10 minutes to spare. The lines were still so long, which made me feel so shitty for the people working. And of course, they have them on the intercom every few minutes, someone announcing, hey, the store closes at 4. We're locking the doors. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to be here longer, ringing up all these people, all these assholes like me, and you're going to be here till 5 or 6. Okay, so here is what I picked up. The soy milk, I didn't want to replace that because the kids need their milk. It's really, really important nutrition-wise, and they would be very pissed at me if they did not get their milk in the morning. I would love to have made my own soy milk using soybeans. We actually have a soy milk maker, and just adding calcium to that would be much cheaper, but they don't have soybeans at Fred Meyer, and I wanted to get everything at the store at Fred Meyer. So yeah, 2 of the sweetened for the kids and then 3 for us, the unsweetened. More in terms of beans, 4 pounds of pinto beans, very, very cheap. Pound of black beans, pound of garbanzo beans, some refried beans right here, also some coconut milk. So that's it in terms of canned stuff. In terms of grains, we've got 4 packages of whole wheat pasta. I've got rotini and penne. The whole loaf of bread, the Kroger brand tortillas, the Mission whole wheat tortillas, a little bit more expensive, but good with the refried beans, obviously. Popcorn, of course, Orville, best brand. Peanut butter, this is ridiculous. It's a huge amount of peanut butter, very cheap, so cheap. With jelly, the kids like peanut butter and jelly now, all of a sudden. Canola oil spray, sometimes for cooking, but mostly for the popcorn. Nutritional yeast I actually got because I like it for popcorn. It's also a good B12 supplement too. Definitely on the more expensive side, but cheaper now that Kroger has their own brand. Sunflower seeds for me. Delicious, cheap, great source of vitamin E. Flax, not cheap, and this is the organic because they didn't have the regular, so it was actually more expensive than I wanted. I think we still have some from the regular in the fridge. But yeah, flax, omega-3s, walnuts, omega-3s, sliced almonds, 10 pounds of potato here. We will not eat all of that, but it's a lot cheaper the more you buy. A thing of celery, bag of spinach, 2 pineapple because they were on sale, $1.50 each. A couple bunches of bananas, a bag of yellow onions, broccoli crowns here. They were also on sale. A cabbage because green cabbage is always super cheap, just regular green, not Savoy. That tends to be more expensive. Fuji apples here for the kids. They really like those. And some green apples for me. And for the kids. Tiny baby usually shares with me. Green onions, which are also pretty cheap. I think it was 50 cents per thing. And they're so delicious, So I guess not really cheap, right? I mean, it's only one little bunch and no calories, but delicious. In terms of just extra stuff, I guess I already showed the nutritional yeast. Although that is pretty nutritious, right? I got a bag of pretzels for the kids so they have some sort of little snack thing, now that they don't have their pea chips and hip peas and all that kind of stuff. And they do love pretzels. And also some chocolate chips. These are the Simple Truth, the Kroger ones, which are much cheaper than the Enjoy Life. I think they're half the price. Enjoy Life is $6 and these are about $3. And yeah, I'm sure I'll be baking bars and stuff like that with chocolate chips. So again, just to make the kids happy because they're not going to have their their Lara bars and all that stuff. And I almost forgot the 4 frozen things I bought. I bought 2 bags of peas, $1 each. I bought some wild blueberries, not cheap, but partner really likes the wild blueberries. Basically exact opposite of that. Could not be cheaper. Just a little thing of frozen orange juice. Obviously I didn't buy any salt or spices or anything like that. We have all that stuff, and I'll be, factoring that into the final price. I also have some things here, some things that needed to be used up and that I want to use, obviously. Tofu, very nutritious, lots of protein. So I've got 4 of these. We've got a thing of guacamole that will be good with the tortillas and the refried beans. Got some lentils that need to be cooked. Canned tomatoes, I'm sure I will use these. I've got a bunch more of these too. This rice, I'm sure I'll be using this. Probably, I don't know, maybe not. Garlic, we already have garlic. Again, dried basil, all that sort of stuff. But in terms of the price of all the different stuff I bought, including some other, household stuff, toilet paper and stuff, $138. So I know that all the stuff I bought is less than $138, less than $130. So yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with all this food, how I'm gonna keep the kids happy over the next 7 days. Lots of cookies. Yeah. I had a bunch of other stuff that I wanted to use too, not just the little bit I showed there. A 5-pound bag of carrots with about 3 pounds left in it. I had some bananas in the freezer, some raisins, oats, about a whole giant container of oats. And this is what our pantry ended up looking like. I moved everything that we would be eating here, and I put everything that we wouldn't be eating, like my nougat bars, all that sort of stuff, into our separate, what will eventually be our actual pantry area. It's actually a pull-out thing. It's pretty cool. Moved all of that in there so it would be shut away, because I knew if I had to look at nougat bars all week. Yeah, so pat myself on the back for that one. I think that was a really good plan, because seriously, I don't think I would be able to do this if I were actually looking at all my snacks and stuff all week. So yeah, had everything out where we could see it right there on this bookshelf thingy. We have an old house that doesn't really have a pantry area. It's great. So if you're familiar with how I normally eat, my what I ate todays, you probably notice pretty big change, right? There's no protein powder, there's no meat alternatives, there's no Brave Robot ice cream, which is on sale at Kroger right now for $3.99. If you do the buy 5, save 5, you don't have to get 5 ice creams, just any of the things that say buy 5, save 5, just saying. So basically mostly whole foods, nothing from the refrigerated vegan section other than tofu. Oh, and no dining out. So not surprising, right? I mean, anyone who knows anything about saving money on food knows that for the most part, you're going to stay away from the more processed stuff, and you're mostly going to focus on whole foods. And so a vegan diet, obviously, mostly grains and beans, staying away from certain fresh food, fresh produce that's really expensive, and eating at home, of course. So I had all the food. Now I had to figure out what to do with it. Probably would have made more sense to do that beforehand, but I went shopping an hour before the store closed on Easter Sunday. This didn't start out well in any way, shape, or form. So it's nighttime, Sunday night, making cookies for the morning, some yummy oatmeal. They smell good. Yummy oatmeal, banana, chocolate chip, raisin breakfast cookies. Hoping this will be an adequate substitute for their Belvita cookies. I don't know how we got in the habit. Well, I got in the habit of giving them those every day for breakfast. I did it once or twice, and then Tiny Baby was like, yes, this is the routine now. If you change it, there will be consequences. And so ever since then, we've been having the Belvita, the little ones, the little chocolate ones and the little blueberry ones, and that's what they have for breakfast with their soy milk, and then, have a healthier lunch and dinner. So hopefully with the chocolate chips, I'm hoping that this is a suitable substitute, but we'll find out soon enough. And here's some more food. I made so much food, so much cooking. Thursday morning, day 4, carrot pancakes, carrot cake pancakes, I guess. They're so good. The carrot is blended and not shredded because, well, I won't show you, but I just grated my finger the other day trying to make a healthy carrot cake. This was last week. It was really good, actually. I would prefer not to grate, and also I think the kids would prefer it to be blended, but look how orange. They're so pretty. The batter was like super pretty, and they are so delicious. Oh my god, these are so yummy. More scramble, of course, scramble with spinach. Made these cookies as a Belvita cookie, breakfast cookie replacement, because the oatmeal ones with the chocolate chips I made, just not cutting it. They're so much better than these, but like whatever. So yeah, I made just these like really simple, smooth, whole wheat, chocolatey flavored, minimal sugar little things. I put some more sugar on top. Of course they love these. They're like so dry. Yeah, I mean you can, yeah, whatever. Also got all this granola I made a couple days ago for partner. He usually has his Kashi chocolate cereal at night with his wild blueberries and soy milk, but that cereal's expensive, so made him some granola, and he has that with his blueberries. Obviously, significantly less protein. It's got a little bit from the oats and the walnuts and the almonds, and it's got Splenda instead of sugar because he does not like sugar. I made some chickpea cookie dough. That's almost gone with the chickpeas that I cooked and the chocolate chips. Used brown sugar instead of maple syrup. That's been one of the biggest replacements. So many recipes I make use maple syrup. I don't know what it is about vegans and maple syrup. Obviously that's very expensive, so I've had to replace a lot with sugar, add a little bit of water, that sort of thing. Here's a whole thing of hummus. Here's a whole thing of soup. High protein tofu that partner bought. I don't know if we're actually going to use this. Got the rest of those yummy oatmeal cookies that the kids don't like that I will cook, and I guess I'll just eat them. That's fine. I think they're good. Rest of the chickpeas, some tomato sauce from something. I can't even remember. Oh, this. Pinto beans for Tiny Baby because Tiny Baby loves beans, and they were not a fan of the black beans. Way too dry. We usually give them these savory sides. They're these canned black beans. They like the black bean one and the red bean one, and they're just real soft and soupy, and the smell, oh, it's just so gross, but they love them. So this is similar to that, right? It's just kind of cooked like red beans and rice. There's no rice, and I just used the pinto beans and salt, celery, cooked it forever, you know. So yeah, they had that yesterday and had a lot, probably a cup of beans. Rest of the scallions here, I chopped up all of those. What is this? Oh, this is a bunch of granola bars that I made. There's still a lot of those left. There's some coconut milk because I made pineapple coconut milk popsicle, so there's the rest of the can of coconut milk. This is the rest of the seitan I made. I made an Isa seitan recipe. It's very, very salty. Here's the rest of the black beans. Still got some carrots left. Just used a lot of those in the pancakes. Still got quite a bit of broccoli left. Have not touched the cabbage. Got some celery left that I need to put in something because it's getting kind of wilty. And got quite a bit of spinach left. Quite a few chocolate chips left. Quite a few bread left. Have not even touched the tortillas yet. They've had a little bit of pretzel, not really much. Nothing much changed up there. Had a lot of peanut butter so far. Had some raisins. Most of the walnuts are gone. Good bit of the almonds are gone. Haven't had much sunflower seeds, eaten them a couple times. Oh, that's some oat flour left over from, I think, the cookies that I made. Had just a tiny bit of pasta in the soup, but that's it. Had a little bit of rice that I made for the pinto beans. Partner got some white beans. They might make some like white bean milk. I don't know if that's happening or not, but I've got a pound of those soaked and now cooking on the stove. Lentils I haven't touched. These are some old split peas. Pinto beans, I cooked a pound of those. Tiny Baby had a thing of applesauce the other day. I think I cooked some tomatoes. Had a tiny bit of popcorn, but not very much. This was almost full. This one is almost empty. So I basically had one whole container before just a few days ago. So yeah, I've used a lot of oats for the granola and the granola bars and the cookies and all that stuff. Need to cut up this pineapple today. And yeah, still got a lot of food left. right, Sunday night, the week is over, and here's what we have left. Most of the soy milk is gone, but we still have half of an unsweet and half of the sweetened, the original, left. Most of the pinto beans, I only used a pound of those. The refried beans, didn't touch those at all. Most of the popcorn is still here. We used a lot of nutritional yeast, as you can see. Most of the pasta is still left. We only used one box. Most of the tortillas, I think we only used 3. And most of the bread is gone. There's like 5 slices left. Lots of peanut butter sandwiches. Speaking of peanut butter, about half, I would say, about half is gone. Which is a lot. This is a 4-pound container, so 2 pounds of peanut butter. Oh my God. We didn't use the jelly at all. Kids did not want peanut butter jelly. Most of the almonds are gone. Most of the flax is left. Did use several tablespoons, but yeah, pretty big bag. Most of the sunflower seeds are left as well. I'm like trying to show, like, here's, look, you can feel how heavy it is, right? I don't know what I'm trying to do here. Most of the canola oil is left. That's not surprising. That'd be pretty amazing if we went through most of that in a week. Most of the onions, I think I used like 3 or 4 of the onions. About half of the bananas, those need to be frozen. About half or so, probably more than half of the cabbage. A good amount of the spinach and the potatoes. I can't believe it. We ate 10 pounds of potatoes. And here's the fridge situation. This is after I went shopping for the next week. So yeah, we're all stocked up on soy milk. Those are the 2 that we had for the last week. And you can see a lot of hummus is still left. Several of the granola bars, 5 or so, 6, something like that. A few scallions are left. Coconut milk, I used about half or so to make the pineapple coconut milk popsicles. That's the rest. You can tell the container is very stained. That's not the milk. That's just the container stained with whatever was in there. Probably something, I don't know, tomatoey, curry, maybe. Pinto beans, still a lot of the pinto beans left. Tofu, and here's some dates that I just bought because they had buy one, get one free. What? Never seen that before. Here's the rest of the high protein tofu that partner bought. Couple carrots left, some of the black beans, a little bit of the black beans that I made, the pound that I cooked, and quite a bit of the white beans as well. I only used some of those in the seitan, and I think partner had a little bit more. Speaking of seitan, there's some of the second batch of seitan that I made left, a quarter or so. There's a little bit of the vegetable soup, the alphabet soup, maybe a serving. And there's the guacamole, which partner just decided to freeze. What? That sounds really gross, but whatever. And the pantry. So pretty much everything's the same up here. I already showed the pretzels. There wasn't very much of the sunflower seeds to begin with, the shelled, but a little bit of that's gone. A little bit of raisins left. I think I used them in the granola and a couple other times. That's a little bit of oat flour left from the cookies, I think. I used 2 cups of the rice. Didn't use any quinoa or steel cut oats. Used 4 tortillas for tacos. There's the rest of the white beans. There's the rest of the lentils. Only used a little bit of that. Didn't use any of the split peas. Tiny baby had like 4 cups of applesauce. They love applesauce. Some tomato stuff left. Didn't use any of the canned peas. And the oats pretty much gone. Basically used a whole container of oats. There was also some West soy milk down there. I used, I think, like half a cup of that for the potatoes for the shepherd's pie. So that's it. That's the week. It is Monday now. So yesterday was the last day. Before I get to the price, to the cost of everything, I'd like to talk about the experience, I guess. In terms of good things, number 1, those freaking pancakes. I cannot express to you how delicious they are. They don't really taste like carrot, even though there's like 4 whole carrots. It made a large amount for a family, right? Not just for one person. It made like 12 or 15, fairly good sized pancakes, something like that. But still a lot of carrots, and they're blended up, but it really didn't taste like carrot. It kind of made them taste like a donut. Maybe I'm crazy, but oh my God. Seriously, the most delicious pancakes I have ever had. And they have vitamin A. Like, it's a win-win. They're healthier and they're more delicious. What? And that was with half whole wheat too. The original recipe was just white flour. The tofu nuggets, everyone liked those except for me. Shocking. I just thought they were very flour-y. They just tasted like they were covered in flour because they were. So yeah, not for me, but everyone else really liked them. So I'm sure I'll be making those again. The shepherd's pie, I actually just winged that. And this is why I don't normally do that. This is why I normally follow recipes, because I'm really bad with gauging amounts of stuff. And the ratio of potato to filling is just not correct at all. I used 3 pounds of potatoes. I probably should have used like half of that, 2 pounds at the most. But it was really, really good. It's just the seitan, the second batch of seitan I made, which has a little bit of white bean mashed up into it. Really good. It's not super salty like the first batch I made. An Isa recipe, actually from Isa Does It, but it is just so incredibly salty. I don't know what you could actually use that in. Like, that adds any more salt, which usually you would. You're adding some sort of sauce or something to seitan, but yeah, maybe just slice it up, treat it like deli meat kind of, and put it in a sandwich. Maybe that would work. The second batch I made a totally different recipe and kind of did my own thing. That was way better, way less salty. So I used that and some peas and the rest of the broccoli. I had some of the stems left that I just chopped up really small. Carrot, garlic, I think that's it. And then for the kind of the wet stuff, the gravy, oh my gosh. What? Did our power go out? Or did the lights go out? Son of a bitch. Oh, the power went out. It is really windy, but like, what? That was so spooky. I'm alone in the house right now. I don't want to be alone with the power out, even though, again, it's middle of the day, it's bright outside. I don't like it. It's scary. The wet part of the shepherd's pie, the gravy part, I actually just used my favorite gravy recipes from Connoisseur's Veg. It's a super simple vegan gravy, I think is what it's called. So delicious. So I made that. I used almost all of it. So again, in the future, when I fix the ratio, I'll probably end up using all of it and increasing the amount of seitan and vegetables and all that stuff. But yeah, it was really, really tasty. Just need to reduce the amount of potatoes. The Mongolian beef, although it was super, super salty from, again, the first seitan recipe I made, when I make it again, I will be using a less salty seitan, and I think it's going to be really, really good, and I think the kids will really like it. They love those flavors. It's got some Chinese 5-spice in it, which I'm not a big fan of. I used to be, but I don't really like it so much anymore, but it's a tiny, tiny amount, so I can still handle it, and the kids will love it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making that one again. Potatoes, again, I cannot believe we went through all of those potatoes, but also, yes, we went through all of those potatoes. So good. Just roasted potatoes with oil and salt and a little pepper and some ketchup. Like, what is better than that? Nothing. Ice cream, but that's it. And finally, in terms of good things, the kids actually handle it way better than I expected them to. I thought this was going to be way more of a struggle without their Lara bars and without their pea chips and without the Belvita cookies in the morning. I thought it was going to be a huge thing, but it really wasn't. There were a few times where a toddler was like, what are we gonna have the little cookies? They were talking about the Belvita bites. I was like, oh no, we don't have those right now. Oh, and like they were kind of sad, but there wasn't any meltdown or tantrums or anything. Did Tiny Baby cry about crackers one time? And so I did give them a few. We have the multigrain club crackers, so they had a few of those. But yeah, they did pretty well. And the first thing, the snickerdoodles, actually. I've never made a bad snickerdoodle recipe, but this one just sucked. It was so, like, one note. It was just sweet. I don't know what was missing. Like, just, I guess some amount of acid or something was missing from it. But man, they were just not good. And there wasn't enough cinnamon. I can't remember whose recipe I made, but I was just looking for the cheapest, simplest thing that already had oil instead of butter. At least it was cheap, right? The black beans, and this is why I hate cooking dried beans instead of using canned. It is just not consistent. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Like, they're not old. I just bought those damn beans and they would not get soft. And the main reason I got those was for Tiny Baby, because Tiny Baby loves beans, loves the savory sides stuff. So I wanted to make sure they had their beans, and those just did not get soft enough. They were too dry. It just was not what they were looking for, right? So yeah, canned beans are just the same every single time. I've never had a bad can of canned beans. I've had many bad batches of cooked beans though, that just didn't soften up for whatever reason. And no, it's not salt. If partner says salt one more effing time, I have salted beans that ended up not getting soft enough. I have not salted beans that ended up not getting soft enough. It's not a thing. Acid may be a thing, and I'm careful not to add like tomato or anything to beans until they're soft enough, but salt, no, it's a myth. So much cooking. Oh my God. Now this is my fault. Like I wanted to make a whole bunch of different stuff for the video, right? So it's not just like soup and peanut butter sandwiches and, you know, just like what I would do if I weren't making the video, which would be really, really simple and just a few different things. But certainly I still could have done that and planned ahead more and had more stuff made on Sunday. Like before the week started, I could have cooked the beans, I could have made seitan, I could have even made like the bars. The cookies I think I did make that night, but that's like the only thing I did was make those cookies. So yeah, planning ahead, planning what I was gonna make would have helped a lot. Finally, in terms of bad things, partner actually struggled the most, I think, which is really funny to me. Like they complained about just so much carbs. They were so hungry, but they already had so many carbs. Like their stomach was full, but they were still hungry and they weren't getting enough protein. They couldn't have their cereal at the end of the day. Their Kashi Go, I think it's called, the chocolate protein cereal that they have like every single night. He has his chocolate Kashi with wild blueberries and soy milk, and he couldn't have that. So he was like, what do I eat? What do I eat at night? What's the sweet thing that I eat that has protein? I don't know, have some peanut butter. Like there's still some left. Be quick, because I'm gonna eat it all. It was just really funny to me how much he struggled without his Kashi, and he really likes the Just Egg folded things. He puts that in a sandwich. He was much happier, I think, once I made seitan, right? He was like, can you make some seitan? Because I wasn't planning on doing that. It's like, yeah, you know, I guess it's still pretty cheap and we already had some gluten. And just to be clear, there was plenty of protein. Like you see how much beans and everything that's left. He could have had more protein, but it wasn't cooked. So just starve, I guess. Oh, and I did gain a couple of pounds. Can't imagine why. And finally, before I get to the cost, the really bad. And it's just the realization I already knew, but like delicious non-nutritive food is just the cheapest food you can have, the cheapest food you can make. Again, some processed stuff that you buy can be more expensive, but man, if you make stuff on your own, cookies and cakes and shit, those snickerdoodles, that whole recipe was less than $1. And I didn't have to cook anything first. Like I didn't have to cook beans or press anything or chop anything, prep any vegetables or fruit or anything like that. All I had to do was measure some flour and stuff and mix it up and then roll it into balls, which I have a cookie scoop actually. So I just scoop it and put it on the pan and then put it in the oven. And done. It's depressing, right? It's just so easy and cheap and rewarding taste-wise to just eat shit food. Even if you don't have money to buy pre-made stuff, you can still just so easily make your own stuff for next to nothing. Again, I already knew that, but I guess I didn't know the extent of it, right? Like I've never calculated how much it costs to make cookies or whatever. It's just like if I want cookies, I make cookies. And then having that comparison with all the other things I'm making and eating as well. Like the Mongolian beef, just the sauce, not the seitan, the broccoli, the rice, just the sauce was like $1.27. So already more than the entire batch of cookies. And then with the actual food, with the rice and the seitan and the broccoli, it was like $5. And the rice had to be cooked. The seitan had to be made, had to be kneaded, had to be boiled, and then browned for the recipe. Like, it sucks, man. There's just so many barriers to being healthy and eating. And I don't want it to sound like it's just impossible. It's not at all, but it does require quite a few changes. And it's just so easy to go back to unhealthy living because, man, it takes so much less time and often less money. So now we're all here for the final cost, minus all of the stuff we didn't eat, including the other stuff that we did, like the carrots and the tofu I'd already bought, and like baking powder, salt, cinnamon, all that sort of shit. And also my coffee, my 14 cups of coffee and Splenda, $130.05. So not only did I meet my goal of under $150 very easily, but I was actually under the thrifty, which again was $135, right? So like $5 under the thrifty plan. I could even include our supplements for the week, which I didn't obviously, but I could include them, which is about like $15, and still be under the $150 goal. So yeah, man, success. I really didn't know, like, I knew we weren't going to eat all the food I bought, but I just really didn't know with all the extra stuff we had. And again, I didn't really have a plan for what I was going to make. So I really didn't know where we were going to end up, if we were going to be under $50 and to be $20 under. Yeah, man. Feeling pretty good. So ways to make the diet easier, because again, it wasn't like the easiest thing, especially for a partner who apparently is a lot pickier when it comes to food than I originally thought, which is very, very funny. And this is besides like planning ahead, which I already talked about. Planning ahead so I don't have to live on peanut butter sandwiches for 7 days straight, and gain 2 pounds as a result. Protein powder for smoothies. That would make a huge difference for me. That would make things so much easier in terms of just getting more protein, right? Because that was kind of difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie, because I would see the beans, and again, I hadn't really planned anything. So I would just see the pinto beans in the fridge, which were yummy, but like, I don't want that. I just want a smoothie with protein powder. Instead, I have a smoothie with peanut butter, which is great, but it's like nowhere near the amount of protein I'm used to getting. So yeah, protein powder would be terrific. Obviously, protein powder is more expensive, but the pea protein I normally buy on Amazon, the Now Sports, the 7-pound container, works out to about 46 cents a scoop. So a scoop every day for 7 days would be $3.24. If partner had a scoop as well, $6.50. Kashi cereal for partner, of course, to make sure he has his cereal every night. So that's about $3 a week. Ice cream. It's not, I can still make cookies and stuff. That's pretty delicious. But see, then I make a whole batch of cookies and then I'm pretty much eating most of those cookies, which is not great. How do you make a half batch of cookies? Ice cream, if it's not on sale, around $5, but usually now it's on sale. Again, Brave Robot, $3.99. I actually paid $2.99 because I had the buy 5, save 5 when I went shopping yesterday. And then I also had another $1 off from the digital coupon. If you go to fredmeyer.com or Kroger.com, whatever, same thing, and you put the little digital coupon on your card, there you go. So $2.99 for a pint of Brave Robot, animal-free dairy ice cream. Belvita cookies, of course, for the kids. They're pea chips. They're Harvest Snaps, I think is what they're called. $3 for $5 right now, which I think is pretty typical. Lara bars, 89 cents per bar if you get the 18 count box. $6.22 a week, having one a day. My 4-year-old pretty much has one of those a day. Yeah, they are always asking for their bars. That's all stuff that we would all really appreciate having, for the week, right? And then ways to save even more money. Number 1, making our own soy milk. That would save so much, because that alone, even though we didn't quite finish it, basically didn't finish a whole container, was still $17, almost $18. It's pretty insane. So making our own would be so much cheaper. They don't have soybeans at any store. They probably do at Whole Foods, but you can get them online. Doing that and adding some calcium, that would save so much money. Also, buying nuts at Trader Joe's. In my experience, Trader Joe's is like the best place to buy nuts and stuff. It's just always cheaper. Their standard price is always cheaper than Fred Meyer, than Walmart, than like any other place. So yeah, if we were going to Trader Joe's right now, well, even still, I wanted to get everything at like places that pretty much anyone can shop at, right? Kroger, Walmart, not everyone has a Trader Joe's. And also, I have not gone into Trader Joe's in like over a year because of COVID. I went there once. It's just insane. The store's so small. You have to wait outside. It's just like, no, I want to go to as few stores as possible, right? And Trader Joe's is like the worst one to go to in my experience. Finally, not make the stupid sauce that I made for these little like black bean patty things. It was very delicious, but it was made with cashews, and cashews are not a very budget-friendly ingredient to use. So yeah, would not do that if I could do it all again. Am I gonna keep doing this? No, no way. I love Gardein too much. I love Daya too much. I love my Nugo bars too much. I love my protein powder too much. I love dough donuts too much. I love fruit too much, right? It's not just processed shit. It's also like fruit. I eat quite a bit of fruit, and it's not always stuff that's on sale. Like I got really lucky the pineapples was on sale because when I went shopping yesterday, I think it was like $3.99 each. And so I didn't get one, but there are definitely times I really want pineapple and they're $3.99 and I buy them anyway. But I am glad I did it. I did learn a lot. Like that partner is actually kind of a diva when it comes to food. And that has just kind of made my day, you know, because I'm always the picky one. I'm always the little bitch when it comes to food. But turns out, no, there's two little bitches in this house. Little food bitches. I don't know what's happening, but I'm really glad that I did it. Thank you so much to the person who recommended it. It was very enlightening. Kind of fun sometimes, but I'm also very tired and I don't ever want to cook food again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a like if you did. Subscribe. Support the channel. Patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. And I will have a new video very soon. Oh, and if you have more tips, obviously, for just general tips for saving money, leave them below. I'm sure that would be very useful. This is the third plate of beans.
Daddy will be back soon.
Yeah, Daddy will be back. Is this better? Are these beans better? This is mortar style, huh? Nice and soft for baby.
Daddy, that's for baby.
That's right. What about you? You eating them too? Sweet. Trying to pick out the chocolate chip. Oh, you little sneak.
Mine,
You little sneak.